About 4 months ago, I was watching eBay and there was a motorcycle jacket that I really wanted. And anyone that is into motorcycles knows that motorcycle jackets get very expensive. So I was following this auction on eBay. It was, going to $200, $250, and really wanted this jacket. It was the perfect jacket for me. And I said, God, how much can I spend on this jacket? He said, $250. So I threw in my bid for $250. I'm winning the bid, and at the very last minute, somebody swoops in and they got it for like $300. And I was disappointed. I had my heart set on this jacket. Right after that, I am praying and doing some devotional that night, and I hear God say to me, you are willing to spend $250 on a jacket that will ultimately turn into dust, but are you willing to spend $250 and invest that into my kingdom? See, God was telling me, where is the treasure of my heart? Is it in a motorcycle jacket or is it in His kingdom? And He told me right then and there, I have a missions trip that I want you to go donate to. And I said, God, this money is yours, you're supreme, and I went and donated to it. Fast forward to, I'd say about April or May of this year, I take my truck into the shop, and it's an old Ford Ranger. I'm a college student, so that's kind of what we drive, is cheap cars. So I take it in and I get a bad report from the mechanic. He says, hey, you need about $1,000, $1,200 in repairs. You need to have your engine rebuilt. And the truck's only worth about $3,500. So I said, okay, let me let you know. I took it home, and I have a little bit of money in the bank, and I just prayed to God. I was like, God, what should I do? Should I repair this truck? Do I want to sink this money into this truck? Or do I want to look at maybe buying a new truck, getting something a little bit more reliable that won't break down on me, because that truck was 12 years old. And God spoke to me, and He's like, I have something better for you, sell it. So I end up selling my old truck to a guy in the church who needed something low mileage that would just kind of work as a work truck. And I said, okay, God, I give this to you. And that week, on Wednesday, this was on a weekend, on that next Wednesday, I got a transfer of $2,700 into my account from a grant that I'd never gotten before, never applied for, or never heard of. And I just get an email and bam, the money's right there. And then that Friday, I had been negotiating on a truck that was much newer, lower miles and everything. I get a text that Friday, and it was a Christian couple that was selling it, and they said, hey, we feel like we're supposed to sell you this truck at a budget that you can afford. And God provided me with a new truck. God was not saying, hey, you need a new truck, you need a nice truck. He was testing my heart. He wanted to see where the treasure of my heart was. Was I willing to give my last $200, $250 to His kingdom? Or was I going to spend it on myself and get something that ultimately I really didn't need? And that's how God works. He wants our hearts so that He can reinvest into us and invest His time and His resources into us, because He knows that we will reinvest them into the kingdom and get souls.